Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Stallions Run. I'm, of course, your host, Buck. And let's get right into it because there's quite a bit of news to talk about. Not as much as last episode where we talked about a bunch of signings that occurred, but kind of some news that kind of builds upon one of those signings, Alex Magoo's, when it comes to the Green Bay Packers from the Stallions. And then, of course, we have two other signings going, of course. We'll talk about those. And then, of course, we talked about last episode, Skip Holtz getting a coaching job at Northwestern. A lot of us thought, no, that's probably not going to happen. Turns out we were correct. And yet we were wrong at the same time. A lot to talk about there from that front. And so let's get first with the signings. First, probably the most important right now when it comes to, I guess, talking about Alex Magoo, how important he is possibly to the Green Bay camp. Well, they went and they go sign his center from Birmingham. Cole Schneider, of course, probably one of the best centers this season in the USFL. He is with Green Bay Packers. If you ask me, that is a vote of confidence in Alex Magoo that they are bringing in someone that he is used to. That is someone that he's worked with, and they feel like that they can get that connection. And again, the center got to be able to kind of work with the quarterback and kind of communicating. Then to me, that's probably a very good sign for Alex and how he's going to do in training camp. I wouldn't say we're at the point where we can start saying a slot is locked because the slot isn't locked until it's basically the regular season. But we're having to look at now is just how these movements are going, these transactions. And right now, Alex Magoo just got his center back from Birmingham. To me, that is a clear vote of confidence from the Green Bay Packers that Alex Magoo is probably going to be sticking around for at least the rest of camp. They clearly have some kind of interest in keeping Alex happy. They bring in Cole, who, again, is a great center. So, but a great signing for Cole. Even better look for Alex Magoo transitioning from Birmingham to the Green Bay Packers. Now, we do have two other independent signings. So first of all, this was a very much a surprise to me because we had a couple signings where it was like, oh, okay, we're finally getting some defensive signings going. But Lorenzo Burns, cornerback, he didn't get a lot of playing time this season for Birmingham, but he is going to the Cleveland Browns. He will be going there, and I'm very interested. Where that goes. I'm going to say he's probably going to be probably a practice squad guy because this feels like a really late signing for training camp. But who knows? We've all seen kind of crazy camp stories how players are kind of be able to go out, they're able to support kind of the team in a way that maybe another cornerback could. So I'm going to say we are in for a bit of a surprise. I think Lorenzo Burns could be. I'm just predicting probably practice squad. But him, this is kind of a sign that kind of came out of nowhere. It was just kind of like it was basically Cleveland. The transactional wire came first, and then Cleveland announced it, and then the contract termination tweet came out from Birmingham. So kind of a surprise signing from that front. But hey, you take what you get, and I very much enjoy the idea of seeing Lorenzo being able to go off to the NFL. And so, congratulations once again to him. And finally, this was one that a lot of people were kind of shocked about how long it took. But LaMichael Pettaway, excuse me, uh, he's going to Indianapolis. Finally. There's a reason I literally tweeted out the SpongeBob finally kind of gif because a lot of people, including myself, were very kind of surprised how long this was taking. He didn't really get a lot. He didn't get tryouts. It just there didn't seem to be any movement from his camp. But boom, there it is, and he's going to Indianapolis, which, if you're following the news, does seem to be having its own training camp saga. But otherwise, still, for Michael, that's just a great thing. I'm very interested to see where he lands up because the Colts are not exactly known as a super tight end kind of heavy game wise team, but maybe he's seen as like someone who can kind of come in. Maybe they're trying to revive kind of that area of the game, and who knows from that front. But I'm very interested to see where he ends up there from training camp. So then I guess let's get to the big news. So Skip Holtz, he is technically going to Northwestern. Technically, It sounds like this is possibly either one season. Last episode we talked about how it was like he was basically, it sounded like he might have been getting the Northwestern head coaching job, then maybe declined it, but now he is officially going to be going to Northwestern just for the fall. He is staying in Birmingham. He is staying for 2024. He is sticking around in the USFL. He's just going to be an assistant to the head coach. It sounds like basically he's going to be in an advisory role for Northwestern for the head coach there. He's basically going to be supporting. It is going to be interesting. I am intrigued to see what Zach Potter does with maybe they. I'll say this with if there's any Northwestern seniors, I'm going to say there's at least a solid at least a solid chance that we see a couple who maybe don't make it into the NFL or they feel like they want to get some extra tape, kind of work their way over to the USFL and hang out over at the Stallions because again, this is supposed to be just for the season. It's just a one-time thing. It's just the fall. And here's the thing. If this was the 2022 offseason where we're working from 22 season, looking towards the 23 season, I would be very concerned because that's a lot of pressure you're putting on the GM, especially with Zach, But now we're seeing what Zach can do for 2 weeks in a row. I mean, look, is it going to hurt? Probably not to have Skip probably be as focused on the Stallions in this offseason. Yes, you're probably going to see some drawbacks in the season. I think I think everyone now is kind of a little prepared for that. But here's the problem. We have an amazing GM. So it's not really a problem at all. And we get to, okay, I think everyone's like, it sucks. Skip's not going to be fully inside the team for a bit, but he's going to be still a part of it. We're not losing a coach. We're keeping everyone that we can. This is just a one-time thing. He's going to Northwestern. He's just going to help a bit. And again, I'm happy for Skip. I'm happy he's able to kind of. I'm sure he had kind of the way he kind of left Louisiana Tech. You wonder if there was maybe one to kind of shake it off one more time, see what happens. But kind of go in, do a little college stuff, and then kind of go back into professional with the USFL. Hey, I'll take it. As long as it allows him to be able to go out there and put out the best Stallions team possible, coaches at the best way possible. Nothing wrong with that. So that's basically the main news when it comes to all the signings. There was one Stallion signing when it came to the O-line. Darius Harper, he is back with the Stallions, so good to see chemistry sticking around with the team when it comes to that. Otherwise, it feels like we're starting to enter a bit of a dead period when it comes to signings. It feels like people are kind of waiting to see what happens with camp. They're wanting to see who's not going to make a team this year, if they want to go to the USFL or maybe any other league. So right now, it feels like it was hot for a second. It was dead hot, and then now it feels like it's entering a dead period once again. But hey, we're still always going to be here at United Football Media to talk about everything that comes to. I mean, now we got slam ball, we got the Sun Belt coming up. I mean, so much, especially with college ball, just around the corner this month. So a lot to be excited for. All right. I'm, of course, your host, Buck. Be sure to follow me at BuckhamUSFL. We post Stallions Runs episode here on the United Football Media channel whenever there's a lot of news or when we get back to the regular season weekly. But I'll be here getting ready to talk about everything when it comes to the Birmingham Stallions. Until then, stay safe, and I'll see you around.